When it comes to restoring our canals and navigable rivers in the UK that we look after, the need to protect heritage can sometimes be at odds with the need to preserve the environment. It's important that we have a mixture of skills to bridge the gap and solve complex ecological problems like these. I'm Karen Seth, I'm People Director at the Canal and River Trust. We care for 2,000 miles of waterways. Why should we consider both ecology and heritage when we're considering solving for the problems that we have today? They're built upon the past and we need to deliver for the future. For me, both sit side by side. We have a duty of care to care for what we were given to look after, i.e. the heritage, but also with that comes the wildlife, the nature, the ecology side of what we have. We want to be recognised for what we do by being respected, by being trusted to care for those waterways, to care for the environments. So ecology and heritage are really key and they work hand in hand for me, and I think that's why you can't consider one without the other. Quite often, heritage, for example, can be in conflict with actually what's the safest way to repair a bridge, a dam, etc. And it's how do you balance those two things off at all times? I spent some time with an ecologist not so long ago, and we had a breach in a canal. So that's where the canal bank breaks. That is where all of those teams come together to really work out how to fix it. The heritage of the bridge that they needed to repair, the fact that bats had been living in it, there was also a lot of trees, so two perspectives on that. How do we then rebuild the trees that we might have to cut down to access it? So making sure that we're always replacing like for like in everything that we do. So we're constantly learning and educating, which leads me on to the fact that we really need to encourage people to come into this industry, learn some of these skills, not just the heritage skills, but the environmental skills, the ecological skills. None of them work in isolation, but they have to come together because they have to problem solve to find the right solution, and maintain the network from a stewardship lens is really key. One preserves the past, one sustainably delivers a future for us. Those are both important because one sits on the other. I saw a great example where the two really shone when I was on the Kennet and Avon on a visit that we did, where the pump, to be able to improve it, they worked with a local university, a group of students who developed modern technology to be able to maintain the pump better, but the pump is still the existing pump. I thought that was a fabulous example of how the old and the new come together to be able to deliver for the future.